Good day and welcome to the Boom Bar. Thank God it's Friday. From Lagos, Nigeria. Boom Radio NG in the place to be. Sola Rogers here with
Dolupo, the one and only. It is Friday.
Is your microphone on?
Oh, sorry. Dolupo here again.
All right.
It is Friday on your boomradio.com.ng. It is the Boom Bar. And we're definitely here to give you another wonderful edition of the bar. It is Friday, so yeah, it's New Music Friday. Definitely, we're going to be talking about a lot of that. Also, there's there's always politics here and there to be talked about.
Yeah.
And from that angle, there's also going to be a bit of sports here and there. So sit back, relax. Basically, today's just going to be mad fun. I hope we actually just really enjoy today's show. Basically, starting from one thing that is buzzing, that is on everybody's lips today on New Music Friday is Davido's album. I think that's definitely one album. It was really, how do I say it now? It wasn't the whole announcement was barely a week and all that, and I honestly did not even, before I knew the day it was going to be dropped, it was just like, oh, okay, there's an album, and then kaboom, the album is upon us.
Yeah, so Davido, amazing singer, songwriter, producer. A lot of people forget that Davido is and was a producer, or was and is a producer, as the case may be. And of course, multi-talented guy. He's used this album to do many things. The proverbial, or when people say, you use one stone to kill two birds. I think Davido has used one stone to kill like 10 birds. And why am I saying that? Timeless is something that the fans have been asking for. Oh, give us something.
Yeah, his next
to hold on
album
to.
and all that. Yeah.
People were even begging for a single. Like, okay, just drop something, yeah? Then he went through some personal challenges in his life. He was bereaved, and that actually took him off social media and entertainment for a bit. Then, of course, he has used this album to address a bit of that, And about the same time, still in his personal life, the story of if he was married to, Shema or not and everything. Then again, he also used the same album to launch some new artists. To be honest, some of those guys, I never heard of them until
I never heard of
this
them,
album dropped.
They're doing really well.
And
really well.
It's massive. It's a good thing, and it's actually good to have Davido back in the game.
Yes. Like you said, they really used the album to do a lot of things, particularly like the songs that I actually had with this new artist. They actually put in like a lot of work, and I think that's really, really beautiful. So let's get right into the album. So the album has 17 songs. The old songs, the only song that I think everybody knows on the album is Champion Sound. That's actually a very fantastic song, let's not even lie.
Yeah. Champion Sound featuring Focalistic, South African artist, and of course Evie Amampiano song, beautiful song, nominated for an award in South Africa recently, and all of that. So of course it's only normal that it would be on this album.
And now let's move right into a lot of songs. This album started with Over Them, Feel in the Garden, that has Morave on it, if I pronounce that properly. It has Godfather. It has Unavailable featuring Musa Keys. It has Bob featuring Dexter Daps. It has It Pain Me, Away, Precision, Kante featuring Fave, Namoni featuring The Cavemen, and Angelique Kidjo. Fantastic song. You Juju featuring Skepta, No Competition featuring Ashake, Picasso featuring Logos Olori. I don't know how that is pronounced. For the
I think it's Olori.
Olori. Okay.
That's what I think.
And Legends Can't Die. I think that's what LCND is.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think about the album?
Okay, so I already have a favorite, which is Away. And on Away, you'll find that Davido was all by himself. It wasn't a feature, it wasn't everything. Well, I found that I'd listened to the old 17 songs on the album, but I went back to a couple of them. So I already have one or two favorites. I like Away a lot. I recommend that people go check it out, go listen to Away, you know. Then, again, there's the Namoni. Namoni is a mega sound because it features
I think that they blend in that song.
Caveman and Angelique Kidjo.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful sound. Whoever did that song, I think I'm not sure we've really ever seen that merger of Caveman and Angelique Kidjo on one song. It's a beautiful, beautiful sound. Personally, for me. Okay, is that all?
No. So it also shows Davido really trying to be in the zone. Like all the songs most of the songs are mid to slightly up tempo. There's no too heavy bang 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 song like you know.
I think that generally, is it me? But it looks like a lot of artists these days are beginning to move to the slower tempo songs.
So that was something for me. Like, okay, all right. I'm noticing this blend. I'm noticing this flow.
This feel good music that we're getting into this.
Then you see, there's an artist that can do no wrong in my books. His name is Ashake.
I agree.
He can do no wrong.
I agree.
You know,
it was a different kind of Ashake. It was.
Yeah.
It wasn't the regular Ashake.
No, it wasn't.
I'm not sure I've ever really heard this side of Ashake, but it blended he and Davido. And these days, you really see him. What Ashake does is blend into everybody and then just...
No, they've been blending into him.
Yeah, they have. But this is not the typical Ashake.
This was him and Davido like on the same...
wavelength. Yes. I think that was a very good song. Personally, I like the In the Garden with Moravi. I think that it's actually a very, very nice song. I personally like it. I think that generally for the album, I think that Davido has, over time, or more recently, he's had albums that grows on you.
Yeah.
If I would, not like there's a comparison, and I won't even call it a Davido thing these days. I think that it is basically a lot of artists that, even with the likes of Wizkid, these days you hear like his album, the More Love Less Ego, it wasn't a, like you said, Jim album, and then as you listen to more of these songs, it just grows on you. I think that it is maybe the era that we're in of just calm, feel good songs and all that. And I think for right now the song is doing very well. It is really topped about 17 it has topped album charts in 17 countries already.
On Apple Music.
Yeah. Now, the problem with it for me, I won't call it a problem, is that with a lot of these artists that are very big, you don't know if it is really the songs that are doing that well, or it's just because it's the artist.
Yeah, well, the thing about charts these days, because there are different types of charts, and different type of stats and numbers. The thing with charts like Apple Music and what are these other streaming platforms now? Excuse me. Help me out here. I need more streaming platforms.
Spotify,
Boomplay, and all of them. Thank you for coming through. The thing about them is that it's always based on the initial surge, then you have to revisit it after 24 hours.
Yeah.
Then that's when you understand that, is this song holding or is this album? But this is an album chart now. We're talking about the buzz on the album. If you go to YouTube also, you'll see that it's already making some nice numbers. You know, each song minimum of 70,000 views and all of that. So that's what happens. But the initial surge always helps. Last week, Odumodu, dropped a song, and funny enough, it went to number 1 on a couple of charts like that. Then again, we also know that there's the Billboard chart for Africa, the Afrobeats one. Then there's also the main Billboard chart and all of that, the one that Rema is holding, sway for Africa at the moment. So in mainstream charts and stuff, the numbers always, fluctuate and, are subject to all sorts of things. But this particular one must give kudos to him, because it shows that people wanted to listen. And as soon as the album dropped, they were keen into it. So going to number 1 or so, Abi, in 17 countries across the globe is massive.
It's very interesting. Another interesting thing about this is that this has also drawn up a lot of attention to Wizkid's album. I was looking at, there was a particular chart that his own is number 1. Wizkid's album is back on number 2 now. Of course, there's a lot of going back to listening to all these albums. There's also a lot of comparison that's to do with these albums. I think that I'm at a point where it's obvious that as much as we preach some of these things, I'm not sure it's going to go away anytime soon.
It's almost as if dolupo is hanging out with Wizkid as we speak.
Why?
It's almost as if like you and Wizkid are like discussing this album. Oh, am I Wizkid? Because I don't know. 3 minutes ago, Wizkid tweeted,
"Oh, okay.
Y'all go listen to Timeless by my brother at Davido. Fire." He had the fire emoji, the love sign, and the ego sign. Like, it's telling you, and this is what we've been preaching ever since. Stop these comparisons in the name of trying to disparage one for the other. Now, this is Wizkid saying, please go and listen to my brother's album, Davido. I've always waited for this moment. And I'm glad that they're going to be on tour at some point in time this year.
Yeah, I heard that they're going to be on tour.
And I hope that leads to a joint album. I'm not even asking for a song anymore. I'm not asking for an EP.
I think
I'm asking for a joint
going to be
album.
Massive, and not just for Nigerian music, even for both of them. Even if it's just for the what would I say now? For the marketing angle, from the amount of money they're most likely going to make from it. Imagine if there is a Davido and Wizkid tour. Like, they know the kind of numbers they're going to pull.
Yes.
So if it's just for that alone, really, I think it's going to be massive. I think it's going to be some massive work. But anyway, there are not a lot of very, very popular people that dropped songs over this week. There's a few.
Let me stoke the fires of conspiracy theories.
Okay.
It's almost as if everybody is like
remember, I think 2 people too. It was
because
Adekule Gold, and there was someone else.
Fireboy
that said that
Fireboy,
just living it.
Ashake, that they have teased their singles. This is the 3rd week, and everybody was expecting it to drop today.
Yeah.
Everybody
were like, you know what?
So
I'm not even ready to just.
Conspiracy theory number 1 is maybe everybody just leave them for Davido.
Don't let Davido pour sand in my garden.
Or no, maybe even not that. From another angle, your angle is also valid.
Yeah,
but the other angle is
nobody's going to listen to my own.
This now our guy. Mo will leave him for her now. You don't say she get like let's allow David. So I'm just saying that conspiracy theories. But at times we don't mean it like that. Before people go start to
say something else. Anyway, another person that dropped song I think that was yesterday was Falz and Vector with Yakubu.
Yeah, I saw the snippet on Falz's timeline on Twitter, and it's actually causing a lot of buzz. It's got a lot of people, for and against the song. One of the tweets that I saw was from someone that said, "Oh, this is the fella of our time." Now, not my time. My fella is the fella of my own time. You get, but for Dolupo's time.
Excuse you. You actually said this thing off air, and then you actually decided to come here to say that. No, I would not take it.
Okay, so this is the fella of Dolupo's generation. If not, Dolupo.
He's not the fella of my generation. I'm sorry.
Okay.
He's Falz of his generation.
Okay, so
anybody is anybody. Please, fella is fella. Please, I do not like disrespect.
Okay, so let's stay focused.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So the song is about obviously about the INEC chairman, who also happens to be named Yakubu, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it features Vector, Dolupo's favorite rapper, Vector the Viper. At least you can't deny Vector. And if you've not seen the video, it's like basically calling out the INEC chairman. And there was a tweet that he put out talking about how 300 billion was spent on organizing an election that he says in his own words was a selection, that they could have used that money for infrastructure and other things rather than put this together. And of course, the song seems to be very political because he has a massive support from supporters of the Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, and it's getting a lot of knocks from the supporters of the president-elect, Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC. So the song is more or less now like a political thing. People have gone as far as saying that, well, he was only cashing out on the wave, that everybody knows that if you try to do something along that line now, it's going to bring a lot of buzz. And that's what they are alleging that he has done.
The funny thing is that for me with this song, I really just hope that there are no form of legal implications to it. Honestly, that's it for me. I think that we should also err on the side of caution in the bid to want to air your grievances. I think that people need to be careful. I think he has gone a little bit too far on this song, my opinion. I think that as much as we don't like some things, there are things that we need to understand. Number one, because somebody you're supporting did not win does not mean that there was a problem with the system. And even if there is a problem with the system, which nowhere is 100%, even if it was a major thing, I think that calling out people's names and making some, not even insinuations, some pictures and people of some top people, I think is a little bit too far.
Okay, I think it's a little. He would say that he did not mention anybody's name. That Yakubu could be anybody. Do you understand? Like, he's smart enough not to mention the surname of the INEC chairman. You know, he's smart enough not to, go direct, even if it's inferring that it's the INEC chairman that it is definitely calling out in this song and in the video. He already has a video out. Go check it out on Falz's YouTube and his social media. Of the Chief Justice. Justice Ariwola.
I think we're pushing it a little bit too much. Personally, that's what I think. But if it feels that is what he's done is erring on the side of caution, because why I say so is everybody's going on about, when you said it, that somebody said that this is the fella of our time. As much as everybody knows that, yes, fella was an activist, he was very open and very brutal about what he said about different governments at different times. We should also not remove the fact that there was a lot that fella suffered.
Yeah.
I'm sure that 90%
was
of
jailed
people
a couple of times.
who cannot take a quarter of what Fela had to deal with. And there are a lot of them like that. You don't understand? Like, there was no social media, there was no nothing, and these people stood their grounds and did a lot. Especially when, remember, there was the angle of this was a lot of times there was the military involved in a lot of this and all that. And they didn't even, to be honest, I don't even think that, maybe other than Fela, I don't think people were even this blatant to. You literally see people write all sorts of things on social media and all that. People got killed for less. I'm not saying it's right, but I think that we should, if we are more enlightened, I feel that there are better channels at times to air our grievances, especially a case or cases that are now in court. I think one really needs to err on the side of caution.
Well,
he's a lawyer. He knows what he's doing. So,
well, the thing about this is that everybody can say some of the things that you said, right?
mm-hmm.
But Falz will tell you that he is a creative person, is a rapper, singer, actor, and is just expressing his art. If art is imitating life form, well, it stands to be corrected. If it's so bad, then some people can actually, if it's so bad, some people can actually go a step further and go to court and say, oh, look, I am Yakubu XYZ, and I feel that this song is an infringement of my rights. The Chief Justice Ariwola could also do that. But some people also say, oh, you want artists to voice out, to be a part of the movement, to speak for the people. You hear a lot of things about it. And when they do, you knock them. I just know that there will never be a perfect song or a perfect person. There will always be views for and against. He's even gone further now to put out the instrumental on TikTok and Twitter, and I think maybe other social media platforms, saying that, oh, I know some people have something to say to a certain Mr. Yakubu, and that for this reason is asking them to jump on the song. It is what artists do.
I think that it's okay if people jump on it and all that, but people should also err on the side of caution when you're trying to do some of these things. That's it for me. Also, I feel that as much as we want to, maybe we should get to a point where we have, my opinion, most of the time, things like singing about stuff, even most of the time, protest, most of the time, they really never get anything done.
They do at times.
That's why I said most of the time.
Yeah, but some protests.
Yes, some
work. So how do you know that a particular protest is not going to work?
I get you. That's why I said most of the time. Most of these things don't work. Most of the time, the things that work is when we use proper channels to air our grievances.
Okay, so let me take you back.
Because the honest truth is, if you think that singing a song or maybe saying something on jumping on Falz's song is going to change the mind of the judiciary, or it's going to change the facts that is being put out to them, or the prayers of the court, forget it.
Well, you can't say that with 100% guarantee, though.
They're not supposed to hear those things.
We'll take you back to June 12 and 1993, how, of course, everybody knows that MK Abiola won that election. A few of the results were released. Then the independent electoral body, as at that time, was prevented from releasing the rest of the results. It led to all sorts of issues. Abiola declared himself as president.
Yeah.
Now, that led to his arrest, his incarceration, and eventual death. We never saw him as a free man again all through that period, right? But there were
Something popped in my head, but anyway, story for another day.
but there were a lot of protests. I'm not gonna lie. We protested.
Okay.
We protested. People got killed. All sorts of things happened. But eventually, the military government left under that heat and set up the interim national government. Then they came back.
Did not last 3
Then they
months.
came back through the back door, of course. But at least they left. So I'm not going to sit down here. As much as I don't want people to hit the street protesting and letting it lead to riots, I don't support that.
Protests in
I am
Nigeria
not
always
going
leads
to
to riots.
say. I'm not going to say
No, I'm
that
not saying
protests
just
don't work.
protest though. I'm saying that
I'm not gonna say that
things
protests
like
don't work.
music and all that, those things don't. Sadly.
Protests don't work.
Anyway, but
Protests work.
I think that not a lot of times. Not a lot of times. Not a lot. Anyways, I think that people should just please err on the side of caution. Even on social media, please let's be careful what we put out. Remember, was it last week? This guy literally was now saying 1 week after begging for forgiveness after what he put out. I think we should be a little responsible. Let me put it like that. Especially when your father is not a son and your father and mother do not own law chambers and you are not a lawyer yourself. Please, let's just be careful the kind of things that we put out. I'm just saying for your own good. Anyway, let's move on from that. And before we move on to other stuff, a little bit of news and sports, talking about being careful about what someone says and what you should not say. A football fan has now been indicted for writing something on social media, and guess what? Even deleting it a few minutes after.
Yep. While we take you through this story, there's also a lady in France, that is in trouble for the same thing. And this was against the French president. Social media has gone from being something that's not captured by law to being the focus of the law now. Yeah. A lot of people need to reappraise and rearrange the way they use social media. You are not as anonymous as you think. You're not as anonymous. Are.
We say there's freedom of speech. Is the freedom after the speech that is probably not, because I know that yes, you say that there's freedom of speech, but there's also the angle of common sense.
Yeah, but every time you make that quote, I'm like, people should know that came from a dictator.
What is the truth?
It came from a
dictator. Coming from a dictator or not, does that make it a lie?
Well, I'm just saying.
See, there is freedom of speech. Everybody can say whatever it is they want. But there are things that people will say that have led them to get to court for a lot of things, as far as treasonable felony for things that people have said. And this is even with in the ambits of the law. So I'm not saying that, but it is actually a true fact. Be careful of the things you say, because you think that there's freedom of speech, but also need to be careful that some of these things can land you in jail.
Okay, so again, deleting a tweet is not necessarily deleting a tweet, because these days, even Twitter, the tweet is somewhere, and Twitter will say,
you don't advise it.
This
the tweet has been deleted, but the tweet
but
is
the
right
tweet
there. That was the only one that is. See that? I'm like, okay, what exactly? Which I think this is a recent development, because that didn't used to happen before.
Yeah.
Like it was, you just don't see it again.
It's all part of the changes that Mr. Musk has.
And then you still see the tweet that I thought was the only one. This happened like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, okay, why am I saying the tweet that's deleted? But the tweet is there right there.
Be careful.
Just be careful.
So Michael Obafemi is the footballer we're talking about.
And he actually, there was an announcement that he was moving from Swansea to Burnley Football Club, and a particular Phillips, 26-year-old Phillips, says that he is a huge fan of his, and he was angry that he was moving on loan to another football club, and in the heat of his anger, he's made an offensive racial slur.
Now, the excuse that he had been binge drinking with his friends did not even cut it at all.
Did not cut it. Funny thing, he deleted this tweet 20 minutes after.
but
it had
been
already been
retweeted
seen and shared 52 times.
And the advent
in 20 minutes.
The advent of screen grabs, your case is over.
Your case is over. He was actually arrested February 1 from his home. He pleaded guilty to the issues, and now he has I think he has been banned. He's even in court. He's even jailed. He's supposed to be sentenced.
The sad part, he's been a season card holder since the age of 4. Like his entire life, he's been a fan of the club.
Unfortunately.
That's not enough.
Unfortunately.
So this is our appeal to you. Look, social media gives you a chance to vent.
Yeah,
allows you to say
sentenced
things.
to 12 weeks in prison.
Yeah.
I think that people just need to be careful.
Be careful what you
Kind
put
of
out.
things you
Be
put
careful what you put out. Moving on.
If you don't have anything good to say, just keep quiet.
Simple.
It's really not that difficult.
Simple.
I don't even know why it's so difficult these days for people to be quiet. Because things that you should say, the things that you shouldn't say, the one that is people's business, the one that is not people's business, out there in public. Anyway, moving on from that, and let's come back home to usual. But before we get to politics matter, there's an announcement that another minister of in Buhari's government has resigned. This one I think is very, very important because, please, who is going to be your new minister of petroleum? Because
we have a minister of petroleum. We actually have a minister of, his name is Muhammadu Buhari. So I don't know what.
Anyway, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timipre Sylva, has resigned from office. The conversation is that he resigned to contest for the governor of Bayelsa State.
Yes. So because of the issues that parties experienced 4 years ago, now they have sense. So what they do is that they do a proper screening of potential candidates before they even start to say they are selling forms or they are making noise or whatever. Do you get? Now there's going to be a couple of gubernatorial elections in a few months' time.
Yeah.
And Timipre Sylva, former governor of Delta State, serving minister.
He was a governor of Delta State.
Yes, a one-term governor.
Delta State.
So Bayelsa State, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Bayelsa, my mistake.
Okay, yeah.
I stand corrected. He was a former governor of Bayelsa State, and is a serving minister. Is the Minister of State for Petroleum in Nigeria. The Minister of Petroleum is President Muhammadu Buhari. So, which makes him the Minister of Petroleum.
Yeah, we're deceiving ourselves.
We're not deceiving ourselves. These are the facts. It's a fact. Except if they ask you a question now, and you write Sylvia as Minister of Petroleum, you miss it. Now back to the matter, Sha. Anyhow you want to view it. Now, he is said to have resigned, but the APC people in Bayelsa are alleging that even before the screening, he was still a serving minister anyway. That he should have resigned before the screening.
But is it do you have to resign before the screening? According to law, I remember then that I think that you have to resign 30 days to the primaries. Because remember that this happened last year when President Buhari had given, when some people did not want to resign. I think what the law states is that you have to resign 30 days to the primary. So if it's not 30 days to the primary,
that's from the angle of the law, which will eventually kick in. But this is the agitation of the people. I'm only bringing it out. That
okay, that you shouldn't mess up the
They're saying that,
system.
Look, again, the quotes of Timipre Sylva from 4 years ago have been brought out, where he said it clearly that
he's never going to be governor.
He's not going back as governor.
And really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
There are quotes like that.
Wow.
There are quotes like that.
Wow.
You know?
People should not see. This is where they say you stop putting everything out.
You should check. It's there. There are quotes like that, ascribed to him.
Oh, really?
Check. There's a tab, except you closed it. It's there already. So you don't need to search. it's there where he is, of course, he's quoted to have said, not alleged, quoted to have said that's why David Lyon, right, is the candidate. So,
well, that's the same guy that was bounced.
Yeah, because of his deputy that had issues.
Oh, this guy really has. I feel for
now
him.
A lot of people are angry and they are saying that, look, David Lyon actually won the election in Bayelsa.
Yeah, so let him just,
shouldn't he have the right of first refusal? These are all opinions of APC people in Bayelsa and even outside Bayelsa. So they're like, oh, you're a minister. You work with President Buhari. You're instrumental to bringing Lyon and the rest of them out.
Yeah.
So why are you now?
Why are you going back to say you want to be? I think that
So-
for the APC in Bayelsa, I think they should
that's
even
the
have
quote there.
an issue. They should even have an issue with picking out what's the word now? Picking out who's next.
They have a couple of people contesting already.
Oh wow.
Oh yes, they do.
People are people are
contesting.
not smiling, no. Really?
Yeah.
So, okay, so I found the quote. And he said, and I quote, beginning of quote. Okay, now this is sounding very mischievous. I will not run for governorship in Bayelsa again. I have said it, that chapter of my life is closed. If I was to run for governor of Bayelsa State again, I would have presented myself in 2019. But at that time, I presented David Lyon, who won the election and we lost at the Supreme Court. This time again, we will look for a credible Bayelsan that would run under the party. But I can't tell you since you asked a categorical question. I would also categorically answer you that candidate will not be me. End of quote. End of quote.
So,
by the, what do we call him, former now? Because you're not even sure if he has even. Well, did you see him buy the form?
okay, what you need to understand is that
Well, not by seeing by the form. Are there pictures of him during the screening? So anything could happen. It might not be him.
I'm not sure you want to go.
And
down.
there's not
I'm,
been.
I'm not even sure you want to joke about.
There's not an official letter showing his resignation, and it's possible that he just went to Bayelsa for a few things or help somebody else want to be governor. He actually might just stand by his words. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying. But that's what he said. So what he said is what I'm talking about.
Okay. So the party primaries are coming up on the 10th of April.
Yeah, we'll see who's contesting now.
And that's why we're having this discussion. It is something that a lot of the members of the party actually feel strongly about. That, look, this shouldn't happen because we know that there are elections coming up in November.
Yeah.
And this November 11th, 3 governorship elections in
Imo, Bayelsa, and
Kogi State.
Yes.
So these are the issues. Anyways, we will keep you guys posted on how everything pans out and who eventually is going to be running for governor in all those states.
There's so much drama. There's just so much drama. Moving on from the APC, we're moving on to the PDP, where there's also interesting drama. Now, it has been said that the PDP, the People's Democratic Party, has reversed the suspension of the former Senate President, Ayim Pius Ayim, who I watched the video where he was congratulating the where is he from? I think, what state was he going on about? I think it was Ebonyi State.
Mm-hmm.
That he was happy about the person that won. Basically, he was kind of bragging that he helped the APC win that election. We've also seen the former governor of Ekiti State, where he categorically said in an interview that he helped the APC win the presidential election. There's also reversal of former Katsina State Governor Ibrahim Shema, who was also rumored to have helped the APC win the governorship election in that state also. And then they've also lifted the suspension of 2 other members, Dennis Itiava from Benue State and Aslam Aliyu from Zamfara State. He also reversed the referral of the governor of Benue State to the disciplinary committee.
It's a confusing situation for the PDP, and it's almost as if they're under a spell. Yes.
Okay.
There's something that I used to hear when I was young. They said medicine after death.
Yeah.
Which means that when you take a medicine after death, it cannot reverse the death. It's funny how I saw a message from Osita Chidoka, is a top PDP member, and he posted a picture where he said, he had a meeting with their presidential candidate Abubakar Atiku Alaji, and he told him that they should engage the Labour Party more. Then he posted a picture of him in a meeting with Mr.
Why are they trying to engage the Labour Party more, though?
You should ask Atiku. That's not for me to answer.
Okay.
So he also posted a picture of him with Peter Obi, and I said to myself, this must be the group of the most confused politicians in the history of confused politicians. Why didn't you guys have this meeting before the elections?
Before the elections, exactly.
Atiku had 6.7 million votes thereabout, right? Peter Obi also had 6.1 or 6 point something million votes. Both of them collectively would have had, if those people who voted for Obi would have voted for Obi,
almost 30 million votes.
If they would have voted, let's put the if there. If Obi supporters were okay with Obi being a vice candidate against to Atiku,
or if Atiku agrees, had agreed to vote for an Obi as well on that ticket.
So if they could meet together, because they are both PDP people, regardless, they would have gotten 13 million votes. Even leave Kwankwaso out of it. And Bola Tinubu 8.7 million. Now, after elections, after everything, you are saying they should engage them more. They should connect with them more. It's the same thing after you said you are suspending members. Then there's one member you cannot suspend. Yensom Wike.
But you also know that there's a court injunction. So
or not.
But in his own way, you can't suspend him because there's a court injunction.
Dolupo, injunction or not, they never ever mention Wike.
Because there's a court, he had preempted them.
Before the court injunction.
But he had
before the court injunction. Chimaroke Namani was suspended from the party. There was no injunction in place.
They did not suspend all these other people.
There was no injunction in place then. If you like facts, go with this. In Namani, Fayose's son and a couple of other people were suspended. Why didn't they talk about Wike? They are no fit. Their liver no carry him. According to Wike, if he didn't dare, he didn't dare. They don't have the liver.
Oh my God, you people are me. But honestly,
these are facts.
I know that people were suspended before that injunction, and so that the arm of the suspension does not get on him, he quickly went to court.
Whether he went to court or not.
In my own dictionary, if you were going to, which is
you are twisting facts actually.
No, because he's not only Governor.
You're actually twisting facts.
Why is it that they never also talked about Governor Shema in Oyo State?
You are supporting my emotion. What I'm trying to say, and everything here proves that PDP is confused.
Kind of.
How are you using two standards? You suspended Fayose,
and then said
you suspended Fayose because he came out to tell you that he worked for APC in Ekiti. He said it openly. Then you referred Ortom to disciplinary council for the same offense. They are both anti-party moves. Why are there two standards? It's a confused party. It's a shameful way for a party to die. The way they are going. And I think that if they don't really back off, the only person that can bring the PDP back is Nyesom Wike and his group. This is what I believe.
I think that we should.
I stand to be corrected, but I insist that the PDP, as constituted today, is confused and disgracing the whole concept of political parties.
We'll see. We'll see how that is going. But whatever the PDP is up to, maybe they're just trying to bring them back into the fold. You know, okay, we have wronged you, and so that you don't go somewhere else, let's help you. And those people are
bring them back in the 4 days after you suspended them, barely a week after you suspended. Why did you suspend them? That's what we're saying. Forgetting that dolupo doesn't want to realize that they are. Oh yeah, because Ayu is out.
But he's gone to court.
He's out.
No, you can't say that.
So this decision to bring these people back was under who?
But he's gone to court.
Is it the one behind this
but
decision?
But there's just an interim chairman. It's not like they have.
No. You need to stop
deflecting.
Stop deflecting. Whose decision was it to suspend them? Under which ESCO are you? Which
but
ESCO?
The rest of the ESCOs are still there.
Dolupo, don't deflect. Answer questions. Which ESCO under IU suspended?
But
who?
It's still the same ESCO.
Dolupo.
It's only
who suspended Fayose, Chimaroke, Inamani, and Ortom?
Committee that is still
led by who?
By
whom?
IU.
Who is asking them to come back? Who is in charge?
There is an acting chairman.
Who?
But they were all in the committee.
You are missing it. Don't tell me buts. Answer the answers.
But they were all
Give me honest, straightforward answers.
This person that is the new acting chairman of the PDP was the vice chairman of the Northwest, I'm guessing. Northwest or Northeast.
How is this an answer?
So my question is that all these people...
You don't have a question until you have answered the questions that I asked you. Who was behind their suspension? Who led the suspension? Are you? Mm-hmm. Why are they being asked to come back? Because Ayu is out. Simple. It's open and shut.
I don't think so, though.
You don't have to think so. The facts are there. What you think does not matter.
The issue is that
your thoughts don't matter where they are facts.
These other people too were there. They were all part of the committee.
You make too many.
Are you saying that?
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying facts.
Are you saying that?
Base everything you're saying on facts.
That's what I'm saying. Are you saying that the chairman made this unilateral decision?
Are you saying that the decisions that were taken last week were not under IU supervision and approval? I'm not
saying they were not under his supervision. I'm saying
were they under his approval?
For that to happen, and then for this.
Why is there a change? Why is there a change?
I don't know. They probably thought about it.
They hit their head against the wall and suddenly changed.
Yes, maybe.
Shame. It's a shame that you are not going to speak on facts. You're just going to speak on.
It is facts because these same people are still part of the working committee. It's just only one person that is out.
Oh, you don't think that one person can change the world?
That's what I'm saying.
You really don't think?
No, actually.
Oh, you don't?
No. But anyway.
You don't think that removing one person from the equation can change everything?
Okay, so are the rest of them dullards? Was he a
Do they have to be dollars before they agree?
Was he a unilateral
before they agree
decision?
To salvage their party?
But was he a unilateral
Do they have to be dollars before they agree to salvage their party?
Was he Ayu's unilateral
You're not answering.
Decision?
Do they have to be dollars before they agree to change their minds and salvage their party?
It's kind of looking like it.
Okay, so Dolupo has called the PDP EXCO dollars.
I did not say that.
She says that the PDP working committee are dollars. I asked you 4 times and you said yes.
No. I said.
Why are you afraid of what you said?
I am not calling anybody dollars.
I asked you and you kept on repeating it.
But you did not answer my question.
My question was you said, are they dollars?
Was it a except someone can tell me that it was a unilateral decision because everybody in this working committee is still there now.
Okay, if you are going to be honest with yourself, the decision to suspend them, was it unilateral?
I don't know. I'm not a member of the PDP or the working committee.
Am I?
That's what I'm saying. So
why are you asking me if it was unilateral?
So we should.
And why are you assuming?
It's the same way.
Why are you assuming? You are now assuming that because it was unilateral or not, they are dollars.
No.
You said they are dollars.
I did not say so.
Oh, the video is live. This is live. This thing is live.
It's categorically.
Oh, you didn't say categorically. How did you say it?
You asked me a question.
Mean?
I said
No.
Looking
You
like-
you
I
were the
said
one that
it's
inferred.
Looking like it.
You inferred
asked
that they were
me.
dullards.
Yeah. And I said
There were
that
other
if
words that you
they're
could have
not-
used. You could have
if
said,
they're
were
not-
there a rubber stamp?
There was a
were there
reason.
a yes
there was
people?
a reason that there's a reason why there's a committee and it's not just one person. Those I don't
Again,
think decisions should be big.
You don't
based
think
on one person.
Okay, so in following your logic and your reasoning, when the PDP announced the suspension of these PDP members, what was it?
What
Was it the PDP or was it Ayu?
It was the PDP that it said that. Yes. So
And now,
it's still the same PDP.
exactly.
So do I agree
now,
that
who
they're
was in
confused?
charge?
Oh, yeah.
Who was in charge last week when those people were suspended?
Are you
Who is in charge now?
one of the people in the working committee?
I rest my case.
No. Are they confused?
We
Yes.
have other stories.
Are they
Let's move on
confused?
to the
Yes.
other
Did they
stories.
decide to do
We
whatever?
will allow our
Are you or
viewers
not?
and
I
our
do not agree
listeners
with it.
to make up their minds. We have laid the background for you guys. Make up your
Anyway, the
minds.
former governor of Ekiti State has reacted to recent development. He's saying, according to him, his tweet, put out the tweet where he said, imagine what they would have done if Atiku had won. They would have been more than heinous politically. Should we thank God Atiku lost? At least as it is now, the party can now pick the pieces and face tomorrow as we bid Ayu farewell.
Well, this is the summation of one of the people who was suspended. And this just concludes that the PDP is in total disarray.
Anyway, still talking about the PDP.
For Nigeria's democracy to move forward, we need a strong opposition.
Yeah.
I don't know who it's going to be. If it's going to be Peter Obi,
It's not.
if it's going to be the PDP, if it's Peter Obi and Labour, or whoever, or whomever. But we cannot have a good democracy without a strong opposition.
So still talking about the PDP quickly. The Benue chapter of the PDP has now suspended officials over Ayu's suspension. Now they've suspended the people in the ward that suspended Iyocha Ayu, basically.
Look, you're crying over spilled milk. The deed has been done. The instant the ward said they were kicking Ayu out, and there were other offenses, so people need to go and read what his word was alleging. The Ayu himself said, "Oh, it's only national this and that and that." Then there was a court case. Then immediately he's gone, and there's a replacement.
The honest truth is that
So
just
suspending
so
these
that
guys,
be on good terms with
just
the people in your ward.
another
That's all.
another medicine after death.
That's it. The one thing I've learned: if you're a politician, be on good terms with the people in your ward. If not, they will kick you out.
A wise man, you might not like what I'm about to say, but you see, Yeson Wike said, how are you the party chairman? You lose your polling unit, you lose your ward, your local government, and your state. How?
It happened in the APC as well.
How? Please, whatever happens there applies to every party chairman.
That's what I'm
How
saying.
are you
It
party
happens
chairman?
to-
Hey, you're the one that is bringing APC. We're discussing
Oh,
PDP.
God. It happened in the APC.
So
as well.
how is the party?
Presidential-
How is this person their party chairman?
This one too, party chairman. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
You're a
on
party
that.
chairman, you must be in the grassroots. You must be someone that they know and respect and love, and they'll do anything for you.
Anyway, election observers have now called for free and fair supplementary governorship election in Adamawa State. I think that a lot of eyes will be on Adamawa State. I don't think Kebbi State there's so much of trauma happening there. But I know that Adamawa State is going to be one major issue that we're going to be looking out for. I think that is nice now that a lot of elections are not happening, or most of the elections have ended. It actually helps put more eyes on it. There's more attention on these places. So yes, I think it is really not going to be a bad idea. Quickly, the chairman of the Lagos State Parks and Garage Association, MC Oluomo, has now banned all collections of all illegal taxes levied by Agberos in some parts of the state. He took this decision after meeting with commercial drivers yesterday. I know that there was sort of like a strike commuters were actually stranded. And now what he's saying is that every every levy that is not sanctioned by the state should not be paid for. And he's saying that there are only two tickets in a day, and the normal ticket sold approved by the Lagos State Park system is 800 naira. He said that any extra fees imposed at Iyanokpaja, Agbado, Ijaye were no longer valid, and that they can buy the daily tickets at Oshodi or at toll gates. That so anywhere else would anybody else should not pay such monies.
Okay, so for me this is something that throws up a lot of questions. And
why even paying so much money first?
The first thing is how does he have such powers to determine what they're paying or not paying? 2, the system must be so bad that their foot soldiers have started collecting all sorts of levies. I saw a picture by one bus driver of the amount of monies and the levies and taxes that they pay daily.
And then we now say that transport is expensive.
Guess who is really paying for it? You and me.
Yeah.
You and I. We are the ones paying when we bought these buses, and you're going from Berger to Oshodi at 500 naira. And ideally, maybe it should be 200 naira. Now,
of course, the person carrying you to does not want to get the loss.
The cost is transferred to you. Now, we're not even ready. Let's start thinking, subsidy is going in a month's time.
I think it's going to be crazy, though.
So let's start factoring it. So if they can do this and they're serious about stopping all these illegal, in quote, levies, because even the legal ones I have a problem with.
So if we can at least stop that from
might help.
Yes,
might help.
Basically, talking about the subsidy, someone was saying it about a few days ago that it really is time, if you don't have like inverters or solar, that it's time to do it, because once subsidy is removed, of course, a lot of people are going to shift to those things, and it's probably going to be more expensive to get those things done. So yeah, I think that people really need to brace themselves. I as much as everybody's going on about elections have come and gone. We are going on about inauguration. There are basic things that are going to affect you and I that we really need to sit up and start looking to. Finally, before we go, Nigerians, it has been said that Nigeria imported 644. Why can I hear?
Yeah, there's a feedback from here.
644,452 bottles of champagne in 2022. Why do I feel that this is even very low?
Well, it's information from a body that actually is on top of it. They have the facts, and Nigeria obviously is on the up and up. Every year, Nigeria's importation of champagne increases. This amount is larger than what we had the year before that, and the year before that year too. So again, when they start to say that money no day and this and that, some people are still grooving and they're buying champagne.
More like champagne. Not sha. You're already calling it nicely.
Okay, so champagne.
Whatever
we decide.
You're not calling it properly. Champagne.
That what she said. What she said. Whatever it is that we are joking about. Look, if you can afford it, and,
please,
you're not robbing anybody. Yeah. You're not stealing anybody's money.
We normally used to have champagne at the bar.
There was a time, Lord God, bring back our champagne.
Thank you very much.
But
the amount of champagne that we serve as we have contributed to this
importation. It's guilty as charged. But if you can't afford it and you're still in to do it, baba,
Yeah, you know.
no problem. But again, isn't this time? Okay, like South Africa even does more than Nigeria. South Africa does.
Maybe we should start producing our own champagne.
Yeah, that's where I was going. South Africa does about 1 million bottles plus. You know, Nigeria is 600. We're chasing South Africa's record. I know we'll get there in 2 or 3 years' time.
Anyway,
but isn't it time that we started looking inwards? You know, like we actually need to search and research and find if we could actually make it locally and export, because this is a massive business.
Yeah, it is. Definitely.
Countries like Italy, the US, the UK, Japan, they're buying these things by millions of bottles every year.
Yeah. Anyway, on that note, that is all we have to take today on the Boom Bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you very, very much for watching. We'll be back again on Monday. Do have a beautiful, beautiful weekend.